90% of athletes are not maximizing their physical peak, their physical potential, because of one key thing. And we're going to talk about that today. And what is that? Well, it's your diet. And so we're going to break down two simple categories, and those are real food and fake food. And we're going to go through, and I'm going to give you a really simple blueprint today to follow. You can put this down on one page or less. And the reason I say 90% of athletes are not maximizing this is because if I go through a room and go to 10 athletes and I ask all 10, hey, what is your diet plan? What is the routine you follow? What kind of foods do you eat or drink or avoid to maximize your physical performance, to maximize your body? They don't know, right? And so if you don't have a clear idea on what that is, then follow today, and I'll give you, again, a really simple blueprint to get started with, and try to follow, try to track, and see how it can really help you improve your physical performance and just your body physically, and improving muscle mass, improving your strength, your speed, the whole 9 yards. I just want to tell you before we get into this, obviously I'm not a nutritionist, but these are just things that through my experience, through my career, through trial and error, that I've noticed have been beneficial or not beneficial. Things that I've learned from my trainers and experts when I played with the Diamondbacks, people that I've, trained with along the way, just collaboration over years and years of doing this. And still today, I still exercise daily. So these are things that I still today am trying to follow and optimize myself just to improve our physical bodies, which we're all probably trying to do, or at least hopefully are trying to do one way or another. Here's the other thing though. This does not need to be perfect. I think where people get into trouble is they try to follow this 100% perfect diet plan, and then they end up going through with it maybe for a couple days, couple weeks, and then at some point it falls off. That's why diets don't work, by the way, right? Somebody might be in one shape, they go through a diet and they're in better shape, but then a couple months down the road, they're back to the same point where they started. They need to have something sustainable that they can do long term. The short term diet plans, again, they're just temporary. And so let's get right into it. Again, the two categories are real foods and fake foods, okay? On our real foods category, I have 5 things, okay? And again, I'm saying real foods because everybody can understand this. I'm going to go through them, then I'll give you maybe some examples. And again, this is just to give you a blueprint today. Number 1, whole grains. Number 2, whole foods. Number 3, protein. 4, water. 5, carbs. So let me go through that, and just so you have those 5, this is what we're going to talk about. Number 1, whole grains. Well, why does our body need whole grains, right? Whole grains gives your body a sustainable source of energy. This is something your body needs. The opposite of this would be caffeine. Caffeine provides energy, but it does not give you, it's not something the body needs, right? And so you can go through and get plenty of sources of energy, and your body will have enough fuel throughout the day without caffeine. Now look, I have caffeine every day. I drink coffee almost every day. Again, I'm not saying that you have to be perfect with this. This is for a couple reasons. Number 1, educational, so you know what it is we're trying to eat and trying to avoid. And then number 2, giving you somewhat of a blueprint to follow. But whole grains is something your body needs. Number 2, whole foods. That's fruits and vegetables is mainly what we're talking about here. Eat more fruits, certainly eat more vegetables. I think that's the main one. Fruits are, I think, easier to eat for most people, taste better. Vegetables, we're not getting enough vegetables. I mean, even try to eat more broccoli, eat more greens, eat more green beans, eat more salad. Just try to get at least some vegetables in your meals whenever you're eating. Probably the most common one is lunch and dinner. I don't think too many people are eating vegetables for breakfast. I know I'm not. But man, mix them in with your the main course during lunch or dinner, your meats, right? Whatever else, your rice, your pasta, whatever else it is. Number 3 is protein. If you want to build muscle mass, you need protein. That's non-negotiable, and that's not rocket science to figure out. But again, some of you are still maybe brand new and don't have any idea as far as what kind of diet plan you want to follow. You need protein to build muscle mass and to grow the muscles, but you also need it to help recover as well. I'll give you this. If you are, and you can look way more into this online, do some research, but for me, I'm a 200-pound male, and so I need probably in the range of 150 to 200 grams of protein a day if I want to increase muscle mass. And so online, I think the rule of thumb, and again, from like trusted sources online, 0.7 to 1.0 grams of protein per body weight. All right. And so if I weigh, for simple math, if somebody's 100 pounds, they should be getting a minimum of 70 grams of protein a day. Upwards to maybe even 100 would be good. That would be 0.7 to 1. And again, I'm not a nutritionist. This is just a basic rule of thumb. You can do more in looking into this. If you have a certain health condition, this is going to vary for you. This is just for the average healthy person, I believe. But when you take protein, you got to make sure you're spreading it out through the day. You don't want to be taking all 100 grams at one sitting. That doesn't do your body any good. Your body can only absorb so much at a time. If you look more into this as well, from what I've known and from my knowledge, anywhere between 25 grams of protein to 40 or 50 grams of protein, that's what your body's going to absorb per one sitting or per time your body can digest it. And so, a good plan to follow would be if you're having 3 meals a day, which you should, right? So breakfast, lunch, and dinner, having as much protein as you can. Like, so for me as a 200-pound person, I'm trying to if I'm trying to maximize muscle mass, let's just say about 40 grams of protein, is what I would like per meal. So that's 3 times. So that's 120 grams right there. And then in between those meals, maybe I'm filling in other sources of protein, a protein shake, protein bar, peanut butter, eggs are a good source of protein. Any meat is a great source of protein. Again, you can look up what are all the foods I can eat that have a high amount of protein in. You can go and look this up. But those are like the most common ones right off the bat. And so you can't ignore the protein. Number four is water. You need to be hydrated, all right? And that's obvious. But your body needs water for everything it does. This might be one of the most important things on here, just as far as your body functioning properly, body functioning at a high level. You ever play a game and you get dehydrated? Everybody, has probably had that happen at least once. Doesn't feel good, right? You start overly sweating. You have no energy. Feel like you're going to pass out. Start getting a little bit dizzy. And so your body needs water. Your brain needs water. It's essential for the body. So hydration consistently is the important part. Not chugging a whole gallon of water at one time. Just drinking water throughout the day routinely. Here's a really big one. A lot of athletes are going into their game and they're drinking a Gatorade, and then it's a hot day and they drink another Gatorade, and then all they're drinking is Gatorade and they haven't mixed in any water with it. I think that's an unhealthy thing to do. I think, Gatorade, it has a lot of sugar, but it also has electrolytes. And so there's goods and bads. I don't think there's anything wrong with drinking a Gatorade. But if you don't drink water with it, the trainers that the trainers that I worked with, a lot of them would recommend like 1 Gatorade to 1 water, kind of alternating in between. And again, this is just basic rule of thumb, simple stuff, but that's really good to understand, because again, you have 3-4 Gatorades, you've taken in 100 grams of sugar or more in that. And so that is something we're going to talk about later, excess sugar that your body does not need, or it doesn't do you anything good. Last on the list, number 5, is carbs. Here's the deal. Your body does need carbs for energy production. And again, I'm not going to get way into this. I'm not a nutritionist, but if you're totally cutting out carbs, you're shorting your body of sources of fuel. So if you go to work out, carbs, if eaten at the right time, right, can be a good thing. And if you just load up on carbs 5 minutes before a workout, you're going to feel bloated. That's not going to help you out. But when you have meals and, so somebody made spaghetti and meatballs, you go to dinner and somebody makes a pasta, I don't think you have to avoid eating that. I think the best way to go about it is eat carbs in moderation. And so if you eat carbs in moderation, not overdoing it, not underdoing it, I think that's the best way to go about it. And your body's still getting what it needs, but it's not getting too much or too little. Those are the 5. All right, those are the 5 right there. Again, if you want to know more about sources of how to get these, you can do more research online. Whole grains, though, I don't know if I touched on that. Like, there's whole grain bread, whole wheat bread as opposed to white bread. That would be a better option. Even whole grain pasta over white pasta, better option. And so there are certain bars that you can have, protein bars, but more specifically, even just, I can't think of the word, granola bars, for example, that have more whole grains in them. You can go look up that. I think like the brand Kind has bars that I have that I take. It'll say it has like 14 grams of whole grains in. That's better than a bag of chips or just like, a packet of crackers or Oreos for a snack. Because again, at least it has something that's beneficial for your body other than just a bunch of crap in it and a bunch of sugar and a bunch of stuff your body doesn't need. But again, you can do more looking into that. This is to give you a basic game plan blueprint to start following. Okay, let's go into one more category. This is a bonus category. This is supplements. And so you can take supplements to help optimize. Your body doesn't necessarily need supplements just for additional performance. Taking a multivitamin is a supplement because if your body isn't getting enough vitamins in your food, that can be something that can help. There's controversy behind that. A lot of people say, well, if you eat all the right foods that you need, you're already going to get enough of the vitamins. That could be true, but you got to make sure you're tracking to know what you're eating to make sure you are getting enough. And that's not throughout our day. That's not easy to do. I don't think most people do that. I don't track every single thing I eat, but I just have kind of like this basic blueprint of things that I know, oh, this could be good for my body and help me perform as well athletically. And then this thing won't help me out over here. And so another thing, now I do take this, fish oil is a good one. A lot of research on the benefits of that for your heart, for your brain, for anti-inflammation, things like that. It has a lot of omega-3s in it, which are something really good for your body as well. And look, you can go in and research all the benefits of these things. I'm just kind of giving you a one-page layout here. Things to avoid. We're talking about the fake food section. There's two main ones. Okay, it's excess sugar and it's processed foods. All right, excess sugar, the sweets, the candy, the sugary drinks, things like that. Now, here's another thing. There's a lot of foods that are being advertised, a lot of drinks that are advertised. It says 0 sugar. And while it might say that, the reason it's still really sweet and it says 0 sugar, it has artificial sugars in it. And so just because it says 0 sugar on the label doesn't mean it's healthy or not bad for you. Sometimes it's even worse for you. And so the basic rule of thumb here is if something tastes overly sweet, it's usually not good for you. That's like the basic rule of thumb outside of fruit, right? Because that's a whole food. That's on our list of 5 things that's real food. But when we're talking about like these, drinks or things like that, if you're just pounding a bunch of 0 sugar drinks all day and then you realize in the label there's tons of artificial sweeteners and stuff in it, that's something I would try to be careful of and definitely avoid. The processed foods, okay, snacks, chips, pretty much anything packaged, right? Those are the processed foods. Fast food, definitely trying to avoid that. It's all processed. And so there are some things that can be good that are packaged, like protein bars, bars with more whole grains in it, like I said. And when I say good, I just mean better for you than the other snacks that we're eating, right? It's not on the top 5, but any source of, again, real foods, right? The whole foods, the whole grains, protein, meats, water and carbs, like those are all like the things that are more of essential things to your body. So look, let's wrap this up. Let's put a bow on it. There's 5 things we're aware of. This is like more of our high attention category: whole grains, whole foods, protein, water, carbs. The 2 things we're really trying to avoid: excess sugar, processed foods. So like there's literally 7 things here. If you can take care of these 7 things, the 5 things your body should be having and the 2 things your body doesn't need, this takes care of 90% of it. And a lot of people out there are like, oh, I don't know what to eat healthy. Everything is junk. There's nothing healthy out there to eat. And while it is much harder today to eat healthy, to eat healthier, because it's, the stuff that's easily accessible is the stuff that's not really healthy. It's the packaged stuff. It's easy to just grab something that's packaged, open it up and eat it. You don't have to make food, make a meal. It's easy to just go get fast food and get it quickly instead of eating a home cooked meal or food that's, you know, more healthy. But if you follow this one page or less blueprint, okay, it's 90% of it taken care of for you. All right. And most of us haven't figured out how to really master this yet. Okay. So master this. And then if you do master this simple schedule to follow, this simple diet plan to follow, now you can go and take the other 10% and optimize it. Then you can tweak it, and then you can go in and really get into the nitty gritty of which foods exactly you want to eat or not eat. But let's just forget about making this super complex. Let's forget about making this super complicated and having to overthink it. That's what most of us are doing right now. That's why most of us aren't successful with a good diet plan. We have not mastered the simple game plan to follow first. If you have any questions on this, put a comment down below. Feel free to like this video. Feel free to share it to somebody who maybe needs basic help with good diet plan to follow as an athlete. I'll put this stuff all in the description below. I'll put down those 7 things. Again, 5 good and 2 bad that we're looking to follow. I'll put my Instagram page link below. You can follow me there as well for just more information, and trying to give you guys as much value as I can as an athlete in every single area. And if you have any questions, feel free to message me on Instagram as well.